Appreciate you for tuning in to the Theory Expo. If you enjoy the content we're doing, please like and subscribe. And on that note, let's get to it. Cool, let's do a look at quick hit, and we're gonna talk about. And our quick hit is gonna be kind of one top. It's gonna be about She-Hulk. The next time we kind of really get together and probably record, it's gonna be after the first She-Hulk show, right?
Yeah,
First one is next Thursday. First one is next it's Thursday midnight Eastern. Get up in the morning, whatever. And I'll watch it before I start work. But my question, and I should have formatted that better. But my original question, just for a quick hit, is that do you think that this will be a true setup show? A little background, you're like, do you think this is by setup, do you think this is a show that introduces this is an introduction to another part of the MCU world? Example, again, we'll go back to Moon Knight. Moon Knight wasn't a setup show, right?
Yeah,
It wasn't a setup show at all. It was his show, but it wasn't an MCU. And I probably should put in there. Do you think this is a true MCU setup show?
I will say yes. I think we're learning about like the aftermath and the fallout of like legal cases, and right, like what happens to these guys after they go to the raft and they go in the cube and all this stuff. Like, what happens to these guys? You guys just rot in prison for the rest of their life, or do they get a trial? You know what I mean? So I think we are setting up a different part of the MCU we never seen before, and that's like legal cases and how does legal representation work for superheroes? We're getting that now. We're getting and we're sort of getting a idea of like. We're getting back to New York. I think we're getting back to Daredevil Hell's Kitchen. So I will say yes. I think we're setting up. We're getting closer to the streets. We're getting closer to like the human element. Even though we got monsters in this show, we got gigantic people. But
I think the judge is a mutant.
That's
one
wild.
of the judges and one of the trailers I seen today. Like we have mutants in the show.
That's wild. Yeah. So
but I agree with you. Yeah.
Yeah. I think we are gonna learn about a different part of the MCU we haven't seen before, man. Just finding out the what's the fallout of when you commit a crime as a enhanced. What they call them? They call them enhanced, right? Like when these people do these things, like destroy a small village or something. You know, do they?
They've been saying enhanced, but what I think I'll just all go with.
Power. Do they just rot in prison, or what happens? In prison, or how do they get out of this? How do they go forward in terms like legal terms? Like, do they sue them? Do they? I think we're gonna find. Yeah, we're gonna get that interaction now. Like, okay, because in the trailer they even mention like whereas when she's talking to the guy and they're talking about like we want you to.
Like kind of represent the super. I know your little line, and she's like, "I'm just trying to be a lawyer. I ain't really trying to be that lawyer."
Yeah, so that's where I think that's where we're going.
Yeah, legal representation. To you, I agree. Like I said, I believe. One thing I'll say is I do believe that it's a 100% She-Hulk show, but I think it's I'm gonna say 0% about actual She-Hulk's work. I think they're going to do a lot with her character, both of them, right? The She-Hulk and her alter ego. I think it was Jessica. Can't remember her name, but
Jennifer. I think.
I think they're going to go out their way to try to make her engaging, but ultimately there's going to be a setup show about the MCU street level element. It's going to be about the MCU street level elements.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be more about that, right? I think we're going to get to the I know they're showing Wong and everything, but I think it's going to be more about that. Them, like you say, the Daredevil, the Fisk, the world that they live in, right?
Yeah.
I think it's going to be about that, and I think that's where they're going to kind of live in, but sprinkle in some other things to try to keep us engaged. But I think that's really where it's at. Second quick hit is I think we kind of answered already, but you think this street level, cosmic show, or neither?
I'm better suited for this answer than I was the first question. Yeah, my bad. I don't think I actually. Yeah. So, but I think street level, man. We don't just got we don't got Echo and Kingpin and all these characters just there for nothing. I mean, they exist for a reason. They've been making appearances and pop-ups in different movies and shows for a reason. And yeah, man, I think Fisk, all these street level guys, they end up, this is the gateway to those television shows, right? Echo and Daredevil especially. This is the gateway to those shows where we like, we might get an Echo cameo We definitely know we getting a Daredevil cameo. So I think this is I will go street level over cosmic. So I just don't really see where cosmic will play a part. And I know Wong is making an appearance, but even so, I still think it's street level. And where you dealing with maybe a clandestine sort of organization that and where Echo and Daredevil and She-Hulk eventually will have to team up and sort of thwart their plans. But yeah, I would say street level.
And I think they're gonna try to. And to your point with the Daredevil and She-Hulk of it all, is I think that they're probably going to be going against each other in court.
Yeah.
But they like some of those scenes they're going to end up being. They're like when we see them, there may be a little conflict, but there may be a scene where they need each other to help each other when it comes to some kind of combat.
Yeah.
But I'm with you. I think it's 100% street level. I said they're gonna give us some Wong and throw some portals and all that in there, and then talk about some looming threat because Wong is Nick Fury at this point in time. But 100% a street level show. I just added one more question. It was already in our notes. I didn't have it in the banner. I just created a banner, but I put it in my notes that we talked about earlier. You think there'll be an hopefully I spelled overarching.
Overarching, yeah.
Yeah. Will there be an overarching villain?
Yeah. I think they always do this with these shows. They do it with the movies too. They never show you the overarching villain necessarily. Like Iron Man 3, for example, they showed you Mandarin, right? You've seen these clips of Mandarin. They show you Mandarin right away, but it's ultimately the guy behind. What's the name again? What's his name?
You talking about Trevor?
Yeah, Trevor. Right?
AIM,
I'm talking about AIM. Yeah, it's also AIM, right? Yeah, AIM is Killian. So again, go off of what they're showing us. They're showing us this I think her name is Gigantica or whatever. Yeah, Gigantic. Right. She's not. I think ultimately we looking at an overarching villain, like maybe, and I said again, clandestine organization, some secret society type organization who controls things. Yeah, that's my theory. That's my theory. Yeah, so that's that's what I think we're going overarching villain. I don't think it's going to be. I think Gigantic is going to be a part of it. Maybe like a result of an experiment.
You always got to have an equal kind of person of power villain. Yeah. Just your mirror villain, basically. It's basically you with somebody just on the darker side of you with powers that you got.
Yeah,
I think that's all she represents.
I think ultimately Hulk might be a target.
Oh,
that's another. That's another one of my little theories I threw in there. I think Hulk might ultimately. Where they using his cousin to get to him, and because I don't think Abomination is going to be truly reformed. Like I don't think he went to prison and changed his ways. I think this guy was even before he got the powers in the movie, he was already way over the line. Yeah. Like he was already way out of bounds. I mean, he was kind of like an evil guy already. Hyped. Yeah. And the name we saw this week, which is I'll let you bring him up next.
No. I want you to go with it because I ain't even got that in my notes. I forgot about that. Talking about the thinker,
leader, right?
The leader.
The leader, right? So leader could ultimately be the overarching villain, man. He's tied to Abomination, man. He's tied to Abomination through that movie. I think like I said, this goes back to what I mean about Hulk is probably the ultimate target, and sort of, and we covered this in our previous video about the Hulk's direction in the MCU, is Hulk going back savage, and how that could happen, I think, is through somebody like the leader. And I think this whole thing with sort of trying to exonerate the Abomination, I think that plays a part in it.
You think they bring dude back? Because they kind of left that stanking, when he got some of the. When the movie, remember he did the experiment. He was trying to help Bruce out.
I don't think he would have approved. You know what I mean? But I think he'll come back looking way different and better. You know what I mean? They won't take that. Obviously, they won't take that exact model or whatever of the leader. He'll come back looking better. But yeah, I think the leader's gonna be. I'm just saying.
If we see him, I'm gonna lose my shit if that if he show up, if I just see him, I'm be like, oh,
that's it. Yeah,
my man called it. If I see that guy, it's already, we already know. Oh, snap.
I think that's our villain. I think that's our overarching villain. That's our overarching clandestine secret society organization.
Because he might still have he might, in a way that, this is a quick hit. Now it might be turning into something. But it's almost lunchtime, basically. But if they're able to have him come in, right? If he can come in and can kind of like, because he got some of Banner's blood, right? And then his head start doing all that little stuff. If he's able to form in and out, so he could be regularly He could be regularly his own, but then he can Hulk out basically.
Because he got the gamma.
His Hulk out is the leader.
Yeah.
Shit. So
once you see him, that's it, right?
That's
once you see, especially if this is because that's a good actor, man. That's not like that wasn't a Sun shit actor. That was that dude is good. So they can bring him back. Yeah, they could bring him back and give him that, let him do his job. Like, man, once he show up, that's like,
if he show up in regular form, that means that's what he can do.
That though, if him being able to Hulk out though, that's wild. Yeah, because he got the gamma blood. It's like him being like, all right,
he got that pure too.
Damn,
he didn't get that stuff that they would work.
That's how she got her. That's how she get her powers, right? She get the blood transfusion after the accident.
She got that pure.
Cuz will give her the blood. Like we the same.
She got the pure.
You a type.
You would have that same ability, but his is like you say, he's turning into the thinker, and he might get they might give him a little yoke a little bit with it, but we saw his head doing that thing.
Yeah,
and they just let that stink, and obviously they didn't go back to the Hulk movie.
Except with the Abomination, which made the Hulk canon. And now you even see. So if they brought back the actor for Abomination,
Bolonsky, same guy.
No reason why they can't bring back the leader.
They have to bring back the leader.
That's my.
Oh man, you made me want to change mine because we on the same. So I don't even want to rehash. I got the same thing, but the clandestine. Because I don't think Giganta's. I think they think she's a power matching bill, but I think the overall committee is a government entity. But my government entity was going to be who's ever running the Thunderbolts. My thought was
too. Yes,
my thought was that. Yeah, once you bring in a law show, you bring in the government. I don't think it's happenstance that they got Bolonsky Abomination sitting there.
Good point.
And getting rehabilitated, but he's really not getting. It said my thing is his rehabilitation is probably government funded, right?
Yeah,
and the government agency that's funding his rehabilitation is the who's ever over the Thunderbolts, and he's going to come out at the end looking, like to your point, I think he's going to come out at the end looking better than Hulk because they're going to go out of the way making Hulk look bad. Like Hulk is going to, we said this before, Hulk is going to ultimately at the end of the show be a threat again. And it's going to be it's an interested party that's interested in making them look bad. I wouldn't be surprised if the Thinker working for the Thunderbolts, like crossing that in there. I never thought about that. Like if he was like part of that government organization because he could still be in his regular form.
So, so let me ask you a quick question about that. So, okay, let me throw this in there. And I'm asking you this. Okay, so when she first, because she's in a new division, right? She's not just a lawyer. She's not doing this under her own, like, what they call it? What they call it when lawyers do, like they shoot you they give you a free representation. Whatever.
A retainer. Oh, yeah, okay, yeah.
Or you know what I mean? I'm doing this pro bono or whatever.
Pro bono.
Right?
Yeah, she's not like Daredevil.
Pro bono.
Daredevil gonna be in there pro bono. Pause.
Daredevil he gonna right now.
Pause, but
Daredevil almost always, Matt Murdock almost always represents people who he feel like or where it's an injustice, right?
Yes,
where he feel like it's an injustice. You go get him when you like, hey, I'm being wrongly accused. Hey, I'm really like this big organization coming down on me. I need help. All right, fine. Where I think with her is it seems like she's working for somebody else. Like she's been introduced to this new organization that's like, hey, this is what this the role you're gonna play in it. My question is that organization is that the clandestine organization? Is she working for them or is it
they got this division to get these people free because they need that muscle.
Yeah.
She's working. Yeah. She's the lawyer
because
she's being the face of, and then with her being able to Hulk out too. So she's kind of like one of them, but she's looked like she's good. They're using her. This is the division she didn't want to go to. It's not the division. It's probably the same firm. It's not the division of firm that she didn't want to go to, but they got her, and she's now representing people on the behalf of the tainted agency.
Yeah, I think the agency's tainted, obviously.
Yeah, agency tainted.
But like, how deep does it go? Is it the ordinance, or are they just a part of the overall arcing clandestine organization? Like you said, government.
Yeah.
I'm with you.
I think the agency. I see where you're maybe the branch of what she's doing is the part where they like, probably I don't know, some faction of it or the whole organization. remember how they in Daredevil? I felt like it was part of Daredevil because one of the parts of Daredevil, that other thing that it wasn't like that. I was about to say where Foggy was trying to work for. But that other when he had that little blonde thanger. But they were still up and up. He was just making money at that point in time. He wasn't like broke like Matt and them were by doing all that pro bono. But because that may be the faction that when Daredevil come in, that's a great point you just brought. That's a really good question. I hope the writers thought of adding that kind of stuff in, because that would be other than just throwing Daredevil in the show, right? Just throwing him in there. We got to introduce Daredevil, right? Let's find a way to introduce Daredevil. But actually, in a situation where he's still doing pro bono work, right? And he has to let her, like, who you working for, right? This is a messed up organization. Like, these people, Mac on Catholic, he gonna be on his high horse when it comes to who he like to judge people. Who's right and who wrong, and like he's actually just fighting that he's actually on the side.
That's a great point. Matt Murdock be on a high horse, bro.
Yeah,
he a pious SOB, man. Like, you pious as fuck, man.
He can't just be right. He got to tell you everywhere that you're wrong.
He got to tell you why you wrong. So wait a minute. So are we saying, okay, so when Matt Murdock, Daredevil was introduced to the show, he's going to be going up against, because he doesn't know.
He got the cane and the glasses. Yeah, he comes.
He don't even.
First time we see him as that, that hopping off the when she threw the Superman thing and make him fall off the car. Remember Superman and Batman v Superman, and he's rolled over and he hit the car, and when Matt jump off, that ain't the first time we see him. We already seen him in court.
Damn.
And Matt run up on her at the end, like on some like old girl did in Batman. What was it? Batman Begins. His girl, when she was like going off and confronting people. Matt gonna do that with Jennifer. Like, hey man, what the hell you doing? Like, you really working? You know what I'm saying? Trying to touch at her, go at her.
Okay.
So he about to coming in pious.
Matt coming in.
Matt coming in on this shit like, I'm right, you're wrong. You're doing the wrong thing. I do the right thing. You're doing, you know how he was.
Do better.
Better. Yeah, he gonna be on that, but like in this Matt way.
I'm with you.
And only way Matt can.
So Matt coming in here like, you need, I can't believe you're working for this organization. This is what you need to know. And she's just looking at it like, because it seemed like it's going to be an element of like overnight celebrity, because she kind of goofy and quirky or whatever.
Yeah, it's going to be coming of age.
she very much like following orders by even taking the case, right? So it's like now she gets this like independence now, and as like a celebrity. But Matt is looking at it like, no, you're a pawn, and I'll stop you if I have to, even though he gonna be up against it, with her powers and all that. But Matt find a way. I mean, but he gonna be up against it. But still, I see what you're going. I see where you're going now, because Matt known for doing that in multiple different medias, right? Like, he was doing that shit with Spider-Man on the Spider-Man show back in the day.
On
the cartoon, man. Matt showing up talking about some. I'll stop you if I have to. Like,
if I have to.
He vigilante. You more of a vigilante than he is. Like, you're right, man. Matt's super pious.
Matt ain't ready to work. Ain't even ready to work together. I hope they keep that. I hope he don't lose that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like let's not make him a teammate now. He was never really going to be a teammate. He wouldn't even show the defenders who he was. He was wearing the face. He was with a Scully on. Like, he was doing the Method Man. Like, I'm gonna put the Scully right over the eyes. Like,
he ain't come out to the restaurant, I think. Like,
like, we not doing this. Like,
I smell egg rolls. I smell roast pork and all this shit.
So I don't think, but I think we covered that, man. I think it's a She-Hulk show. It's another one of those things, and they definitely gonna really represent. They really gonna showcase her, right? But this is really about all the other elements around that, like clandestine organization, whatever we want to call it, right? And I think it's gonna. My theory is, I think that clandestine organization is the organization over the Thunderbolts, because we don't know how they're gonna do that, because we don't know how they're gonna do Thunderbolt Ross, right? Because he passed away. Because I would instantly put Thunderbolts in this show.
Yeah,
I would have told you he was gonna show up.
Yeah,
Abomination, Hulk, Thunderbolt Ross and show. So
you got dudes in the
Val. It's probably gonna be Val still. Like, they probably gonna show Val or whatever. But
I can see it.
Yeah, but I think
Fisk. But no, I don't even think it's Fisk. I'm with you. I think that make more sense, to be honest with you. I think the government could be the organization. It could be the organization. I think so. I think because maybe again, you say Thunderbolts, I say maybe it's like somebody else just to have control over super villains and super threats or whatever.
It's a resource.
Yeah, like a resource. Yeah. Like I need you to make it easier for us to be able to use these type of people. You know what I mean? Like I need you to we need to know that we can get these people out of these situations if something come up. And then Matt gonna be like, nah, I ain't letting nah. And it sort of changes his origin because they don't want him completely just walking off the set of season 3 of Daredevil on Netflix. They want him being more like reintroduced.
But you know how they gonna do that though. And I ain't even acting like this mine. I seen it on YouTube, and it makes sense just like that. He gonna come back from the blip.
Oh yeah.
He got blipped. I think I saw it on a Screen Crush, so I'm gonna throw that out.
That answers the where were you question, right?
He got blipped. And he's coming back to a world where, I mean, because his show called Born Again. Like that's that run where Karen is Karen? Where Karen is heroin addict, and, Foggy, I think Foggy dead and all this and all that, right? Like when they show him back in this TV show, they're gonna really but he's coming back to that. So like he can't be that guy because he probably transitioned from that, but I don't think it's gonna be a multiverse variant of Daredevil. I think it's a blip Daredevil.
That's great.
And he was gone for 5 years and everything changed on him.
Makes sense. Yeah.
That's what I think, but that wasn't mine.
No,
that wasn't mine.
I've seen something like that too.
That wasn't mine. But I think so. I said that condescending as hell. You know how they gonna do that. I should have
I ain't even thinking that way. I was like,
my bad. I said that mad
perfect.
Like, how they gonna do that?
I'm about to look that up now and shit. Yeah. I want to know more.
Either way, that how they would bring him back is other than being like a Daredevil from another, like a variant, or is this show set up in another? I think it will be a post blip, another example of a post blip person, how their whole thing got changed. And then when they get into his show, right? Because he's gonna show up in other things, but when they get up into his show, it's a show about having to deal with the loss.
I'm hyped about Daredevil now, bro. You don't hype me up now. I'm hyped about Daredevil. That Born
Again 18 episodes.
Bro,
if they stick to that, they can use the blip. But also, they can use the blip as the catalyst.
You just made me You just confirmed, not confirmed, but you just made me think of a theory I had in my head now, and now I'm almost ready to confirm that this is gonna be my official stand. My theory, and my theory is that we get one and only one Daredevil show.
Yeah,
one season, and then we're done, and it's off to the movies. I don't think we're not gonna get a season 1, 2, 3. No. I think we get one 18 episode run, like you said, that's telling his Born Again story about him coming back to the world, and then poof, he in the movies. That's my theory.
Yeah, I'm absolutely shocked they even doing this. No, I'm with you. I'm shocked they even did a show. Like,
I don't think we get more than this. That's a lot of episodes. Yeah, I think this is like a mini series almost.
Okay,
that's my theory. I don't think this is season 1. I think this is just Daredevil Born Again.
Because they gave it a title. Yeah. No other show they gave a title.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be a movie.
Like,
it's gonna be
WandaVision was WandaVision. It wasn't like WandaVision, the blue. It was WandaVision. They said Daredevil Born Again.
Born Again. Damn, I'm hyped, man.
He already done took out
Matt Murdock. Damn.
Now Fisk back. Fisk was able to rebuild under the shadows while everybody else was blipped.
And he was able allies.
He knew. Think about it. At the end, he knew who Daredevil was, right? He knew Karen. I'm gonna go. You leave her. You don't mess with her. He probably done took out Fogg in that time that Matt was blipped. Matt come back to his old office, and now they in Dumbo now. Like a whole new. It's a juice bar now or something, right? Like the whole thing nothing was the same, right?
Yeah.
He's probably back on his feet. Think about it. Somebody pointed out, I never even paid attention to that. When he was in No Way Home, Aunt May called him by his first name. Thanks, Matt.
Dang. Did they know each other?
She said Matt.
That's wild. I didn't peep that. Damn, you also bring up a good point too, man. That's a good point. But just
like he probably had been working. He probably had been working like with Feast and stuff.
That too. And just going back to the blip stuff, man, like when you think about it, even Fisk, it seemed like, like if you looking at it from a blip standpoint, it almost seemed like Fisk was kind of like, not saying he was in the Hawkeye show. It seemed like he a little bit more like small time. You know what I mean? Like he kind of doing that's like a small time gang sort of like that he was behind. You know what I mean? Like it seemed like he rebuilding like that, and he's nowhere near what he was at his height.
Even close.
In the Netflix shows, he's more like, you know what I mean? Like even though they show and even in the flashbacks, he's like bigger.
Yeah,
he's like more prolific compared to post blip.
Yeah,
where he's like, I'm trying to get back on my feet. I'm doing it with this little small time sweatsuit gang or whatever it was called. When they called it sweatsuits or something like that.
Tracksuit Mafia.
Tracksuit Mafia. You know, yeah, like Netflix. Fisk wouldn't have been seen with those guys. He might have been in charge of those guys, but he wasn't gonna show up and put in no work with them guys.
Yeah, he already had handlers who dealt directly with those.
He was sent one of his guys.
Talk to them. He was messing with the Russians.
Yeah, so it seemed like now this post blip era, it seemed like I'm not really like back to where I was. So yeah, that might.
And he probably ain't even trying to be. You think? Say, I don't think Fisk got blip only from the fact that Hawkeye was like, I'm afraid of the big man. Like, why would Hawkeye be afraid of him? Because that means he was doing that Ronin stuff.
Yeah.
Why?
He know about Fisk was around the whole time when Ronin was around. So yeah,
Fisk got out of jail. Whether the blip, he was able to escape during the blip, or during the blip they just kind of like had to reallocate. We had to reallocate resources, right? And he got to get out early because they didn't have enough people, whatever it was. But he got out somewhere. He either escaped or he got out. And when he went back. He went back to ground level to try to build back up, because he also looked older. Like he would have been alive during that time, as opposed to like somebody who would have got blipped and he just would have came back with the same look. Like Tony and Cat looked older, right? Because they lived during the blip, right? Where the other people came back the same, right? So something like that. So yeah, man, I think the blip gonna be. I don't know if they're gonna do it I doubt they talk about it in the She-Hulk show. But that's gonna be a thing when we get to Daredevil. Yeah, I think the She-Hulk show is a disguised show. It's gonna be about much more about, like, it's gonna be a lot about. Don't get me wrong, a lot about her. Don't get me wrong, but not the threats that she got to deal with. That the MCU gonna have to deal with, whether it's on the street and whatever the bullshit.
I think it's the street level. Yeah, I think it's street level. I don't think cosmic. I don't think it's cosmic level. I think, now we're going to find out. And like I said, this is why, the Thunderbolts would fit. We're going to find out how, how these little organizations are going to try to operate, man, now that there's no shield oversight. You know what I mean? There's no oversight here. You know what I mean? There's nobody watching these organizations now. So there's opportunities to exploit superhuman. And
and my last line, whoever the clandestine organization is the same one that's trying to get them resources out of Wakanda.
That's it.
So whoever that is, I think it's whoever running the Thunderbolts.
Could be Doom,
but whoever this organization is may not be. I'm saying Thunderbolts, but it may not be the Thunderbolts. It'll be whoever pulling the strings on that, right? Whoever pulling the strings on that, like, and that's who's coming in. We may even get a little hint, because I think right now we're leading our overarching theme. Villain is Kang, but like right under that is we lead into the Thunderbolts, right? That's the next Avenger level. Into that.
Elaine from Seinfeld, and there's somebody, because you gotta always think of it as somebody's operating. Somebody got to dominate the earth. Kang trying to destroy and reconstruct timelines and time, but he's not just focusing on one Earth. He's not just focusing on planet Earth. Somebody's trying to take over the world, right? Somebody, just like Hydra was trying to control what was happening on Earth. Thanos was trying to destroy life throughout the entire galaxy, right? Or the universe.
Universe, because it could be that. Hydra could have respawned during that time.
I think it's a precedent for that in the comics. But what I'm saying is, like somebody has got to be trying to take over the human element, the Earth. So that's why we can get these little organizations in here like this, who not really necessarily worried about Kang, but just looking at it as, all right, for the time being, even though there is this greater threat to us all, I'm still trying to take over the world. I'm still trying to control what happens on planet Earth. And there's no Avengers, and there's no government oversight to stop us from doing it. There's no shield. Shield been gone for years. And there's really no like even Sword is not really there. You know what I mean? Like Sword's like space and all that. So it's like what's happening on Earth, they're ripe to be. It's ripe for corruption. It's ripe for organizations like that to pop up. So I think that's what we're gonna be doing. And then they're gonna reformat somebody like Matt Murdock to be sort of like this freedom. I don't want to say like freedom fighter, but he's gonna be like this. He's gonna be like going up against that. Like, all right, I'm here to stop that type of stuff from happening. You know what I mean? I'm definitely not gonna let it happen on the legal side. I
was about to say that very few people will be better suited for that level of kind of dealing with, like, I'm muscle on the street, but I also have a moral compass to deal with. Facts. I'm not gonna let this happen, to the point where, like you say, he becomes pompous about it. But I got a moral compass on the legal side, right?
Yeah.
And then I got what they say, I I brass my own brand of justice, right? It's on the street level. Like I'm going to do something about this, and I'm going to go at it alone, right? I'm going to go at it alone. There's a lot of ways to go with this one, man. Because I got a bunch of more theories I want to run off. I want to rank off, but I guess we can really get to it after we see a couple episodes. Because I got Zemo on my mind right now. Like,
damn,
what happened with him? Because like, who else would want to come and like take over Wakanda or get some resources out of Wakanda than somebody who was in the raft, right? Right, like he was in the raft and he met the dual Malaje. He sees some of the stuff like, okay, nah, and who has resources, right? Like if Zemo had got out, what do we got going on? And we know he got to be part of the Thunderbolt. But I'm just throwing it out there. I'm not trying to. I ain't even got that theory in my head yet. I ain't got that formalized. I'm just saying, like, it's a lot of potential people that I think could be part of this clandestine. And I keep saying Thunderbolts, but this clandestine organization, I think that's ultimately just going the threat looming in Phase 5. Like as the bait, like Loki was, like they was still Thanos, but first phase was really about Loki, right? And I think there's like like you said, we got the Kang element, but there's somebody that's going to lead us through the end of Phase 4. It's up until the end of Phase 5. While we still get Kang Easter eggs throughout Phase 5.
And don't forget about it could be a scroll,
You know, I can't wait for Scroll Invasion, boy.
Man, that's
that's
my number
theory
one.
expo we gonna have when they get the Scroll Invasion. Oh man, I'm gonna put on I might throw a suit on for them shows. I'm putting on my best work.
Professional.
I can't wait to the Scroll Invasion.